All right, we're here. Tristan Connelly, we were with you last week, talked about the game. You said, you know what, your stock rises regardless of what happens. Going into it, you felt it didn't matter. Win, lose, draw, whatever happened, your stock was going to rise. Guess what? It definitely did, my friend. I mean, and to meteoric levels that you probably didn't expect whatsoever.
No idea.
So you went in there. Let's just talk about the fight itself. It's been talked about on end. The one thing I wanted to talk about was the post that you came out with either late yesterday or early this morning where you said to all the shit talkers against Michel Pereira.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that. What are your thoughts on that? Because there were all these guys saying, oh, he sucks so bad because he's doing these backflips. But to be honest, in the first round, you were going for double legs. He was swatting you off.
Me off. Well, and I wasn't trying too hard.
No, of course. But at the same time, he's a big dude.
He's a big dude.
And if he landed hard, I mean, you never know.
You never know.
Right? So
that knee almost killed me.
Exactly. Talk about that post and why you think people shouldn't be trash talking him.
Yeah. For one, I mean, the internet's the internet. You're always going to have people on all ends of the spectrum. But, you know, just to upset the people be like, see, he sucks, you know, it doesn't work. It's like, okay, first of all, he's in the UFC. Everyone in the UFC is awesome. He asked Danny Roberts if it worked, you know? Ask the other guys in the Road UFC that he fought with that if it worked. It works. That's like saying, I think I said something about, ask a boxer with a great jab that if he got knocked out when he threw a jab, well, you should just throw a jab. Like, no, there's a counter to everything. I went in there with a game plan, and the game plan worked. Like I say, he shucked me off. I was shooting if I got a clean takedown, great, but I knew I couldn't try and fight muscle with muscle at that point, right? All I wanted to do was just make him defend and make him work. And I wanted to, even in the beginning, I didn't even really try and hit him because I didn't want to extend myself because big, strong guy in the early goings. I wanted him to start hitting me a bit and find his range and build his confidence and feel like, throw me off kind of easily. I wanted him to go like, okay, I can do whatever I want now, because I knew that if he felt like he could do whatever he wanted, he would go into his craziness. And sure enough, round off, backflip, run off the cage, flying knee, like great, okay. I got my back, he did the backflip, and I tried to kick him in the head while he's in the air, and then he spun around, I saw him take a breath, and that was like, hey, now it's time to go. And I knew at that point I couldn't take a step backwards, I couldn't stop, and I wasn't worried about him hurting me. I knew if I gave him a little bit of time, he could recover. And I was like, but I know if I didn't let him recover, he couldn't hurt me. So I was like, hey, let's keep working. Don't need to hit him hard. And I ended up hitting him hard, like a lot. Like he was wobbled. I saw his leg. I felt his chin crunch from a knee. I hit him with a hook, and I clinched and hit him with a hook. And he was wobbled, and I was holding him up. And then I kind of pushed him, and he fell over. Like I knew he was done. I just, you know, he had the will not to quit. Like he didn't. I thought he'd kind of give up, but he did enough not to get finished. I knew he didn't have enough to fight back, but he definitely wasn't just rolling over by any means.
At the same time, these internet keyboard warriors, if he had knocked you out with one of those flashy things, they would have been going crazy.
Exactly. And part of the whole thing, the fun about all of it is that he did all that stuff. And man, people are saying, well, it's a dumb style. Like, hey, I'm not saying it's the smartest style. I'm not doing backflips. I said in my post-fight interview, look, if I thought being able to do backflips was valuable in fighting, I'd be able to do backflips, but I couldn't do one to save my life. So I practiced punching, choking, and kicking, because that's what seems to work. But hey, he's made it to the UFC doing this. He's also a very explosive, athletic guy, so it's something that plays to his strength. Every fighter's got to find their own style, and he likes to be entertaining, and he can win fights that way. Like I said, it's not necessarily what I think the smartest way is, but there's things I do that aren't amazing. Like, we all have weaknesses, we all have things that can be exploited, and I just think that people are being way too hard on him. Now, I don't know if I want to toot my own horn. It's like, hey man, no, what? It's because I was good, and when he was good, I was just better. And there's that, and you know, I baited him into doing that, and that was my game plan the whole time. I told people that was my game plan the whole time, and I said I'm very confident this is gonna work. Like, maybe he'll knock me out in the first round, something crazy. It's possible. Like, with all that stuff, you're always risking the chance, but I felt pretty good. Like, I've had Radley and, you know,
of course,
Layla and Vinny flipping, jumping at me, yeah. So maybe not quite the same way as him. The Rolling Thunder was pretty good, I say. You know, I was pretty impressed. But you know, after he hit me a couple times, and I was like, my confidence just built real quick, and then, you know, as soon as I jumped on him, I knew I was gonna win. I knew I wasn't gonna get finished or knocked out or hurt.
When we text the next day, you said you were pissed off with the fight because it went to a decision. Obviously, you're not pissed off that you won the fight, but that's not the way you wanted it to go. You wanted.
I wanted the finish. I wanted the finish, and you know, I was pissed off more that I ruined my perfect finish.
Exactly.
That's what sucks. So now it's going to say, oh, you know, like 90-something% finish rate. Like, 100% was so much better. It was almost like, you know, I'd never been to a decision that I won. So, you know, I've been to decision, but I lost it. So I kept my finish streak alive. But, you know, $100,000 bonus, I can't really be too mad. And against a massive welterweight that really should be a middleweight, he made it, like, what did he say, like 42 pounds is what he had to cut? Like, yeah, no kidding, you missed weight, man. Like, go back to 185. You'll probably do better at 185, honestly, with his explosion. Or you really just got to get smaller. Like, you got to really diet down more and lose some of that muscle, man. Like, it's too much.
So going to the judges' scorecards, you obviously knew you had done enough to win. Were you surprised with the 10-8s?
I wasn't. Well, honestly, at the time in a fight year, I always worried because I honestly don't know. All judges gave him a round, and no one seems to know which round. Like, everyone's arguing which it was. They're like, "Oh, he won the second round." I'm like, I think I destroyed him in the second round, honestly. Like, I fucked him up on the feet for 3 minutes. He took me down out of desperation because there's nothing else he can do. And what did he do? He held on to me, and I was attacking, I was elbowing. He never landed one punch. He started to punch me, and I started attacking submissions, and he tightened right back up. He did nothing. Like, I did more damage. I was threatening more offense. So I don't see how you give him that round. But okay, a judge likes that little bit of top control he has. Okay, so maybe that's why he ran that round. I think probably the first round, people are like, no, you beat him up at the end of the first round and none of that stuff landed. And I'm like, that is also true. So you could argue that either one went both ways. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't know what the judges are thinking. Like, in the fight, you never, until you rewatch it, you never really know. So, you know, I was a little bit worried. I knew I dominated the third round, but you never know if a judge is going to give you 10-8. I thought, you know, it's possible 10-8s, but who knows? And yeah, once I got the hand raised, I was ecstatic. And I also know that, like, people are like, oh, your hometown judges. Like, no. They didn't let any hometown judges in me and Cole's fight. They swapped out to all different judges when me and Cole are fighting. There's no way the UFC would let that happen.
Definitely. So post-fight, you speak in there, you say, give me 6 days. Was that planned going in, or was that completely off the top of your head? Because that is what got people excited. That got Chael Sonnen talking, that got everyone talking, and that made you
completely off the top
today.
of my head. Completely. I had no plan to say that. I didn't even think about that at all. It was just, he said, come here at a week's notice. I was like, hold on, no. 5 days notice. And it came to me as I said that, and I didn't even think it was that clever at the time. Like, I just kind of made it up as I go. And then, of course, I tried to plug my gym and thank my management and thank my wife and my friends. Like, I know you tried to do that. No one heard any of it. Like, nothing. Like, apparently, even on the live broadcast when people were watching, like, they had to alter the audio after when they re-uploaded it. They're like, because you could barely even hear it on the thing. And when I went back, the UFC officials were like, that sounded like Conor McGregor, like, fighting. Like, we've barely ever heard anything like that ever in our entire lives. Like, it's just crazy. And I get taken up to the green room, and they're like, John Cavanagh's over here. Like, he really wants to get a picture with you and meet you. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I walked back in the change room. Gagey's looking at me, and he's like, bro, like, well, like, you know, like, just trying to be half what you are. I was like, man, I've never done anything like that. That's crazy. Like, I was like, fuck, what's, like, I didn't think it was anything like that crazy. It's just, yeah, I won the fight. Like, you don't.
Like, you are, you're a fighter.
Yeah.
And that's what you are. And like you said, coming into this, you knew you were supposed to be in the UFC. You knew you had the talent to get there. So last week when we talked, you said, you know, it's just another day. I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Does it still feel that way, or was fight week something else?
No, it's the same. I mean, there's, you know, things that were nicer about it, and there's a little more other stuff I had to do. And even with all the media that I've been doing the last couple of days, like people are like, you seem so well adjusted and all this stuff. Well, it's like I've been doing interviews with you for a while, and James, it's like it's not new to me. I say it's like I've been fighting forever and I've been talking forever, and what's the difference? There's more people listening, a little more people I gotta talk to, more people watching the fight. Other than that, fight's a fight, talking's talking, and it's I just got to manage my time a little more, that's all.
I'm sure you didn't expect this meteoric level that blew up over the course of the past few days. I mean, your social media is on
Insane.
fire. Everyone posting, you're reposting what people are tagging you in. You're on Ariel's show. You get blown up by Chael Sonnen.
To me, that is the craziest thing yet. It's like, of all the other stuff that's happened, like, I'm on every local news station is trying to, which is unheard of for MMA. Like, all the MMA stuff, journalism and okay, that makes more sense. Like, but the fact that I did City TV today, I did a one-on-one with Squire Barnes and Global yesterday or the other day, CBC Radio this morning, CBC Radio, other section of CBC Radio didn't even know was coming to me today. Squire Barnes messaged me today saying, hey, the thing went so well, people loved it, so that tells me it might go national. And my management just told me that McLean's is messing them. Like, it's like insane.
So you're Canada's Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if I'm quite there. I mean, obviously I would fight him if I wanted, but I'm on an entry-level UFC contract. Why should I be fighting? Like, if I don't think I should have to fight guys that are at like the 40 and 40, 50 and 50 level for their purses when I'm getting paid 14 and 14 for my next one. I feel like I shouldn't get thrown at the wolves. I'm new to the UFC. I wanna climb the ranks just as anyone else. Like, I wanna fight 5 times a year. I wanna get lots of work in.
So after this is all said and done, you've done all these interviews, you've done all this stuff. Going into this fight, it wasn't a one-fight deal, right?
No.
You signed
UFC never done.
contract.
So basically, UFC always signs 4-fight contracts. I've never heard of anything less than that. Like, there's no one-fight deals with the UFC. They might sign.
And you're guaranteed to go down to lightweight your next fight.
Oh, guaranteed. Yeah. They're like, they asked me if I could stay at welterweight. Like Tyron Woodley and Dan Hardy asked me. I look at them, I'm like, God, no, nothing to do with you guys. Like, that sounds like I fought that guy because I knew a game plan that would beat him. Like, but if he, like I said, if he just boxed and wrestled, I probably wouldn't beat him. Like, he's too big. I wouldn't be able to deal with that size. But because of what I saw in him, I knew I could draw him out, make him do too much, and he didn't know what my strength is. And my strength is I don't quit, I don't slow down, and I can take a punch. So I knew that stylistically, I was so confident that I was gonna win.
When would you like to get back in there?
I'm hoping December. I haven't talked to the UFC yet, but when I went up to the ESPN news desk, they asked me if I want time off. I was like, oh God, no. I'm like, I want to get right back in there. They're like, how would December 14th sound in Vegas? And I was like, sounds great to me. So that's a great time frame for me because I don't like fighting in January. My birthday's in December. I'm happy missing my birthday, but then birthday, Christmas, New Year's. If it was a New Year's card, okay, but I don't want to fight in January, and I don't want to wait until then. That doesn't interest me. So I'd like to fight in December, then I can enjoy Christmas and New Year's, and then probably fight again in February if I can, maybe mid-end February, and then every 2 months, 2.5 months, 3. I want to stay busy. I'm 33 years old. I want to get things going.
For sure. Now, your first pro fight was local. Your second pro fight was in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
You've obviously fought in Washington State. Mm-hmm. You fought in Vegas. You fought at home here for the UFC now. Where are some destinations that you would love to fight in now that you're with the UFC and it is global?
Brazil will be pretty cool at some point. It'd be nice to fight in Brazil and Russia, Australia. I'd like to fight on each continent. It would be pretty sweet.
How cool is it that that's the opportunity now?
It's insane. I can't even believe it doesn't even feel real yet. It's just, like I said, I'm doing the same things I've always done. So people are like, what do you do with the money? I'm like, well, if you know where I live, it's just going to the bank because that's not enough money to do anything. So maybe I get a couple more of those bonuses and we can upgrade or move closer to town than we do right now.
Now also last week I said how cool would it be if you were in the UFC video game. That's got to be almost a guarantee with something like this.
I haven't heard anything yet. I'm sure it's going to happen. But I'm probably not even allowed to talk about it anyway, but they haven't said anything to me yet. But I'm sure that's going to happen. But I had ESPN ask me, I can't remember the name of it. There's a hockey player, and I can't remember when maybe it was the 90s or early 2000s, who knew all the EA guys, and they made his character just stacked. And so I'm like, I didn't know about this. He's like, yeah, you should talk to him. Like, so if I am in the game, I can be like, make me just maxed out on everything. Like, I don't know if they'll let them, but if they can, that'd be so funny. Like, just make me the best character in the game. So I'm gonna push for it.
Well, congratulations, man. It was such an impressive performance. Locally, I mean, we've known who you were forever. Now you're known worldwide, which is absolutely amazing for someone like you, and the amount of work that you put in the gym, not just for yourself, but for your guys. It's super cool. Super proud of you, man, and can't wait to see you get back in there.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks for all your time, and thanks for believing in me from the beginning.